On this episode of the Pipeline Podcast, trailers for 2024 are starting to release. Marvel has changed its schedule once again, and we are finally going to be talking about Spider-Man 2. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host today, Daren Mcclimans, and today I'm joined by very special guest, Dez, over on Twitter. Dez, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. I'm just glad to be here.
This feels like it's been kind of like a long time coming. Obviously, I've known you on like the socials for what feels like many years now. We've kind of crossed paths over the years, and obviously there's a bunch of people that I'm like always kind of looking at, and you're someone that feels like they're always so positive on social media, and that feels like a rarity nowadays. So it's super great to finally have you on here and talk a little bit about a hero that I think we both really love.
Yeah, man, it's just better to be positive about stuff. Like obviously, like sometimes a little negative, but just rather put more energy to being positive, especially on like social media with everyone. Like you said, it's constant negativity. So just want to push that positive out there as much as I can.
100%. Yeah, no, that's kind of how I like to like go about things as well. I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I started listening to a podcast this last week that started back in 2020, and it took me back to like you were posting a lot over on like especially like Twitter back in 2020 about a thing that we also both like, Ben 10, and that took me back. It's like, man, like you were doing a lot in the fandom back then, like thinking about what people were doing to occupy our time. I think what you were doing back then was like really, really cool to bring people's kind of hopes up in a time that was very like negative.
Yeah, because I mean, I was one of the people when the reboot came out. I was like, why is this a thing? Like, we have the classic to continue that. I finally sat down one day. I'm like, well, nothing really to do. So I just watched it. First season, still hard to get through. But once you get through it, you open your mind and like, hey, man, new generation, let's see where it goes. A lot of good 100%. Stuff actually came out to the reboot. It's fun watch. I'm excited what they're going to do next. But just to kind of, at least, I tell people give it a chance. If they doesn't like it, fine, but just don't keep spreading negativity everywhere.
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, all of these fandoms that we're probably going to talk about at some point or another, like they all have such just talking about Spider-Man. I mean, that community is such a mess. And obviously there's good people that talk about Spider-Man, obviously, but also there's such a vocal outcry for the people who play the games and read the comics and watch the movies. So, hopefully we can go through this convo, and I think we're both pretty positive people, so hopefully we can have just a genuine fun conversation here, and I'm very excited for it. Jumping right into the episode. We only have a couple of news stories today. I wanted to keep it short. It's been kind of a big week for news. Like there's been a lot kind of coming out over the last obviously the like strike is over, so a lot of these companies are putting out trailers, are putting out news, and putting out castings, some being official, some still kind of being a little bit up in the air as far as what's happening. But we did get a bunch of trailers this week. I don't know how many of these you've watched, but I'm going to pull this up here. So we had a bunch of new trailers this week, and I thought we'd go one by one. If you've seen them, cool. If you've not, that's totally fine. So the live action Avatar adaptation reboot that's coming over to Netflix next year. Are you like an Avatar guy at all? Is that a franchise that you grew up with?
You know what's funny about that? Me and my roommates are actually rewatching Avatar for like the 100th time again. Yeah, we got to season 2. Big Avatar fan. Been there day one. I remember exactly where I was when the finale came out, just on the edge of my seat, waiting to see what's going to happen next. Chorus, same thing, day one. Fell over a little bit, but I got to like at least the finale of the series. I got to watch it when it came out, but keep my eye on the live action as well. Hearing things, I want it to be good. I really would love for this to be good. I mean, my show will always be there, but want to push it, want it to be good because like I just watched the One Piece Netflix series a little bit ago. Changes it did have, I actually don't mind. So hopefully, even with the original writers from the original series leaving,
Yeah.
Lots of promise. Everything about the show, at least looking wise, amazing. Can't say anything bad about it. Just that story, it needs to hit for me to be in it, but like if it delivers, it's gonna be good.
100%. Yeah, I mean, Avatar was a show. I'm still, I would say, probably very new to the Avatar world. It's not a show I grew up with. It's actually a show I watched during COVID, which I would argue is the perfect time to watch a show like that. Like,
So
and it had just hit like Netflix. Everyone was watching Avatar again. Everyone was watching Korra. I was like, I'll finally give this show a shot. Fell in love with it. And then went into Korra, which I do love Korra, but like watching the end of Avatar into Korra, it's like, oh, that's a big difference. But no, I've been very optimistic for the show. Like, again, this is a show I think it could be really, really good, but it could also be very, very bad. Like, I know hardcore fans have already gone through this once. Last time they watched a live action Avatar, it did not go well for them. Seemingly, people did not like that like live action movie that came out. So I'm really hoping it looks good. I think it looks like, just from like a filmmaking like standpoint, it looks gorgeous. Like, at the shots, it feels like you're part of that world. Like you were just pushed into the world of Avatar, getting to see all these characters again, and Appa and Momo look incredible. Like, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, I'm very excited to see. Hopefully this is good. It comes out in a couple months, which is kind of crazy because it felt like it would spend such a long wait to get here, and now it's like, oh, it's now it's coming out. So I'm gonna be very, very curious. Saying hi to chat really, really quick. Kai Rex said hello. Hero's Journey said, Daren, are you going to cover Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? Is that the game? Or is that the sequel? I do not keep up with Avatar.
I think that's the game.
Okay. Probably not, but we'll see. Avatar, I like, as far as that Avatar, I know we're talking about two Avatars here, but the blue people, James Cameron Avatar, they're kind of okay with me. I'm not a massive fan of them. Are you a fan of like that franchise at all?
Nah, I remember I had like the first one on DVD, and I remember watching it like a good couple times as a kid, but I do not remember the majority of that movie. So I wanted to give it a chance, but my roommate was like, nah, I'm not interested in the second one. I'm like, come on, I need someone to watch it with. I don't go by myself, so please. And like, nah, I'm not interested. So I haven't watched the second one yet. I want to watch it because I want to give it a chance. I know people are either in the I love Avatar side or I can't stand Avatar.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't really decided where I'm at right now with it, but I would like to give it a chance. And people say that was really good. So
yeah, Avatar. I think I'm kind of in the same spot where like I like Avatar enough. I just don't love it to, I think, the extent, and I think you're right, it is a franchise where it's either you really, really love it, it's your favorite thing of all time, or it's just you hate it because it's so popular. I haven't seen the first one since I was like 9 or something. It's been forever. And I went into the second one not having seen the first one again in like 10 years or something. And I liked it enough. I thought it was a fun movie, but yeah. Hopefully people enjoy the game when it comes out. It looks very cool. I think Avatar, I don't mean to go off track here, but I think Avatar is the perfect world to do a game of. Like, it is a game. Like, I feel like I could almost like a game more than a movie just because I want to explore that world. That world is so gorgeous. I would love to just walk around and explore and fly those dragon thingies that they have.
Especially when they have a good kind of like, right now, a lot of people like they make your own character games a lot. I'm not really the biggest person for that, but that is a perfect game to have like create your own character, explore that world and everything. So I think, yeah, do more with that universe. If it's really something you're passionate about, go ahead.
100%. LBM is also here. Hello, LBM. Alrighty, our second trailer here is Garfield, which I keep forgetting this movie is a thing. Obviously, the Chris Pratt led Garfield movie that was announced last year, and I feel like only really got big because Chris Pratt was also playing Garfield after being announced to playing Mario, like a year prior to that. Are you a Garfield fan at all? Is this a movie that you're at all excited for?
I'm an animation lover, so like if it looks beautiful, you got my money. But I did grow with Garfield at least a little bit. I know the Garfield show on Cartoon Network. I watched that a good bit when I was younger. I watched the both live action movies. Don't know why, but watched them both as a kid. So I'm like, it looks beautiful. Like, I was looking at, I know some people are complaining about like how the humans looked in the movie, but I don't know. It's just something about it. It still looks gorgeous to me. I'm not gonna lie, Chris Pratt kind of took me out of it for a bit. he for Mario, he was fine. His
Yeah.
little Mario voice didn't bother me. I was in it. I think one of my friends said it was actually Donkey Kong voice, Seth Rogen, that took him out of it.
Oh, really?
But
Interesting.
yeah, I didn't get that. I was in it like the whole entire time. But yeah, Garfield looks cute. I mean, I might have to get used to Chris Pratt because he's not doing a voice; he's just doing his voice.
it's Chris, yeah.
Yeah, it's just him doing his voice, but it looks cute. Interesting to see Garfield's dad. Not like I said, I'm not a big Garfield guy, but
yeah,
from what I've seen, we never really seen his actual dad.
Yeah,
and nice to see after live action movies, we're not doing the whole Garfield hates OD, which is like, nah, they're cool. They're just pulling around. So, I mean, if I saw it at the movie theater, I guess I can just watch it for free if I really wanted to or not. But like, I'm interested. Like I said, it looks beautiful. I'll be in it.
Yeah, I think the first half of the trailer and the second half of a trailer are very different reactions for me, because the first half, it's this very heartfelt, cute Garfield, and it's like, oh wait, this is good, and then the whole pun comes in and he eats the whole restaurant, and the like tone of the trailer definitely does change, and once you hear his voice, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's this Garfield. So I'll definitely be curious. I think Garfield's almost a hard movie to do a lot of the time, because from my experience with Garfield, at least with the shows and the bit I haven't read much of the comics, I won't lie, but like what I've seen of it on like a newspaper or something, like I feel like Garfield is often very like slice of life. So I do think when you try to do it into a movie, like what's the plot going to be? Like I saw a lot of people being like, why is it a heist movie? But also like, how do you make a Garfield movie? What's the plot? That's why I think those live action movies were so just insanity, because let's say where can you take a Garfield movie that's going to be interesting? So we'll see. I hope it's good. It comes out in the spring, I think.
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't really his release date. I was just like trying to get a good for the trailer.
Sure.
They have to really win me over. Like they're really like me looking hype for it. But like when it comes out, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot.
100%. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I was like, we'll give it a go when it comes around. All right, moving over to the Marvel stuff of the week. Marvel's had a weird couple months. It's been a weird year for Marvel, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know where you are with Marvel, and we have a couple of Marvel things to talk about. But the first thing here is Madam Web. Now, I've seen this divided the internet more than I thought it would. Like, I thought this was going to be a movie that would come out, no one really watched it, and then we talk about how no one watched it. Did you watch the trailer at all?
I literally woke up. I'm like, all right, what's going on today on Twitter? I saw the Mad Web trailer. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on with this trailer. Where I'm at right now, I think it's still too early for me to decide how I feel about it. I think from when I first read the synopsis of like what's going on, I'm like, I don't really care about them trying to protect a baby Peter Parker, or like, I just feel like do your own thing. Which I know we've been arguing about for the villains movie, like Morbius and Venom, of like doing their own thing about Spider-Man. But now I feel like they're doing it the opposite direction of what to do with like how the interest of Peter. But honestly, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. I feel like a few more trailers, I can get a shot. I mean, the bar for me, better than Morbius, I guess. I'm sorry for all the Morbius fans out there, but I was literally bored for the whole time. Venom, I can enjoy Venom. Venom's like fun, like not my favorite, but like I enjoy it. Morbius, I literally wanted to just turn the movie off, but I had to keep trucking through. But I feel like Madam Web's is close enough to Spider-Man where you can make a movie about that. But I don't know, like they didn't show enough for me to see where I'm at feeling wise. But I don't think it's garbage looking. I think it has a chance to be a really solid movie, or at least as some people say, like an early 2000s Marvel movie or comic movie. At least I buy it for it. But let's see what many trailers, see what's going with that, and hopefully at least is good, because what we got next year? We got Kraven. I'm not looking forward to that. But at least we got Venom 3 and we have Deadpool 3 as well.
Yes. Next year is going to be a weird one for Marvel, and that kind of goes into our like second topic. So I don't want to dive too much into that now. Madam Web is actually a movie that I've said for a while. I actually really liked the way it sounded when we first heard what the plot was. Like they were saying it's this Spider-Man time heist movie, and I do think that's going to be. I think that sounds a lot cooler than it actually is going to ultimately be. Like a time heist movie sounds amazing.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
Yeah. So I've been like, kind of, and this is kind of my thing with most movies before we get a trailer. I'm just like, when a movie gets a lot of hate before we see a poster or a trailer or anything, I was like, hey, let's give this a shot. Maybe
Yeah.
there is something really cool here. And maybe it's just because there was such a low bar going into the trailer. I thought the trailer was a lot of fun. It reminded me, and I say this, as someone who loves those shows, um, it does remind me of like a CW trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's why I like it, because I love those CW shows. I've watched like all of the Arrowverse, all of those kind of stuff. Like, so maybe it brought me back to a place of like a franchise that I really love, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it. It definitely gives that vibe of like, we can't use the main character that everyone loves, so we're going to use characters around that character, and hopefully people will like it, or hopefully we can attach storylines that we want to pull from. It does look very cheesy. Some of the suits don't maybe look as good as they possibly could. I also think people are overreacting over the suits. I've heard some people say it's one of the worst looking suits I've ever seen. I don't think it looks that bad. I think
No, definitely
some
not.
could. Yeah, no, they're fine. They're not good suits, but I don't think they're necessarily bad suits either. So I'm gonna be very curious to see. And again, this comes out very soon. It comes out in like 3 months, 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah, it's close. So
It's very close. Like I definitely will probably like I'm a Spider-Man guy, so I'll probably keep an eye on it to see where it goes.
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I just like when I first heard the like Mal Web movie, I'm like, why? I mean, so Sony owns the movie rights. They can like do so many different like
yeah,
Spider-Man movies or concepts, like, but I don't know. They're really big on trying to force like side characters who
hmm
don't really fit with Spider-Man. Venom fits with Spider-Man. He has his own
yeah,
comic stuff. Morbius, no. Craven, not really. I like,
yeah,
but Madam Web and all the other Spider-Man, you can kind of do that. It's
yeah,
just gotta see how they go, like what direction they're going. I don't really follow spoilers too much or like leaks
hmm
because lots of times those are wrong. I remember like when Far From Home was coming out or No Way Home. I forgot which one exactly.
yeah,
It's all like JJ being a high schooler with Peter and how everyone was just like burn in that down. I'm like, let's wait and see. He wasn't a high schooler, so I don't
yeah.
really look for leaks and stuff like that. Let's see how it goes. It could be good. It could at least be fun. If it's at least fun for me, it's a pass for me.
Yeah, 100%. I think we are definitely, and again, like Sony's had kind of a rough patch with Spider-Man movies, and the Venom and Morbius, but I do think we're heading in like a decent direction. Like I think Madam Web. I prefer Madam Web over the idea of a Craven or a Mobius. Like, it feels like you're at least finally using the Spider people. That's why
Yeah.
people sign up for this. And I do think we're heading into a good direction. Like, we have the like Spider-Man Noir show, and we have the Silk show coming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the rumor like Miles Morales movie, and I'll take that with a grain of salt because we've heard that before, and all all that kind of stuff. So
Just Amazing Spider-Man like 3, like Miles is coming. I'm like, all right, guys. Like,
yeah,
if he comes, great. If he got of
yeah,
course cross into, but not the same thing. But yeah,
yeah, 100%.
let's see where it goes. Maybe they can bounce back. Hopefully, bounce back. I would like to see some other Spider people than just Peter. Love Peter, but if you can't, if you can't use them, let someone else get those shine. Like Miles got to rise up to that level. Let's let some other Spider people get a little shine too.
Yeah, 100%. Like I've said you can even use, again, if you want to use Miles as this world's Spider-Man, I would be down for that. I've also just said Gwen. Like, I feel like Gwen has become very popular over these last couple of years because of
Yeah.
the movies. I would even be like, hey, if you're using Peter in the MCU, even if, because I have a feeling they want to use Miles at some point as well. Because it seems like Tom maybe on halfway his way out or something. I was like, maybe if they want to use him, use a Gwen, you use a Noir. I mean, we have the Silk show coming. I know that's a bit of a different, like, I know they're not exactly Spider-Man, but there's that too that they could pull from. I don't know. There's definitely, I think, a lot Sony could do. Or as people have been saying for years and years and years, Andrew Garfield's still there. He seems to still love Spider-Man. I don't know if he's too old at this point. Who knows? Who knows?
He'll hop in no matter how old he is. That man loves that character.
Oh, he loves that character so much. I will be honest. If of course, people are still saying maybe he's in Madam Web, maybe he's in Venom. Every Sony movie we're going to be getting that. But like, if he appeared in one of these, I'd be so happy. I'd be just so happy to see him. Oh yeah, I love Andrew Garfield so much. Already here, and our final trailer here was What If. Now, are you currently are you excited for What If? Are you kind of watching the MCU type stuff as they come out?
I'm the only person in my friend group who is still up to date with MCU stuff. All my friends are like, I'm kind of burnt out. I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got like, hey man, I'm here. It's only like 2 hours of my life. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, let's go. So I was just talking about like looking down all the what if from last season, and the main problem with it is that the concepts, they don't have great concepts. Like Captain Carter, good concept, makes sense.
Yeah.
I love the T'Challa if he was Star-Lord. Yes. Still, why? Like, why? It's just like some concept. Like, do you don't need that? Sure. Like, there's so many more interesting concepts in the MCU you could have did, but this one I'm interested. I don't know if they just shot the trailer, or maybe because because Madam Web trailer didn't blow me away, but this one just felt different. Maybe MCU just know how to shoot a trailer. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. I think I've seen what some of the concepts are. Still not that interesting to me per se, but if the story's good, then I'm in. But I'm just hopefully it's good. That's all I really ask for.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of my thing going into the season. Like it for one had such a long break. Like it came out like 3 years ago by this point. Like it's been so long. I had lost a lot of interest, and when they had come out with like the concepts for season 2, I was like, I don't think a lot of these sound that interesting.
Yeah.
But when the trailer came out, and like you said, it could just be a really good trailer. They've been, honestly, I think Marvel as a whole, they put out really good trailers. Like, even if you don't like the movie, like the Ant-Man trailer for like the newest one, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I think their trailers were really good. I was really hyped for that movie.
Yeah. It gave me a whole different idea of what the movie's going to be. And I got the movie. Like, this is not what you promised me.
Oh yeah, that was one of my big issues of the movies. I would argue they straight up lied to us about what movie we were watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I thought the trailer I just thought it was a really good trailer, and I think this felt, and one of my issues with Phase 4 has, and not really an issue, but one thing I've said is like, I do wish that they could like have more to get. Like, I think you have all of these characters that they have that we've been introduced to, and none of them are like interacting with each other. And obviously a big part of that was COVID. A big part of that is just kind of like stuff they're building to, and me wanting. But I think the fun of the MCU is that we get to introduce this character, and this character, and then they get to meet and interact and mash together. That's the fun of the MCU for me. And this was like the first time in a while that we have like Ant-Man and Captain America and Spider, all these characters that we love are in one place, in one trailer. I think that's very hype for me. A lot of the ideas, like there's like a Mad Max MCU like kart race. We have all these characters going together. We have like the 80 Avengers, which I thought was a really cool concept. Obviously there's stuff with the Watcher. A lot of fun stuff here. I also thought it was very interesting that they're going to be dropping this 9 days straight, which is a different technique for the MCU, which I'm gonna be curious how that works.
I think what really is hurting, I know it's not really part of it, but it's just MCU is dropping too much stuff, too much clutter, and they're making more like either okay to just like to the boring movies, and then the good stuff is getting kind of swept on the rug in between that. But that all aside, what if, like I said, don't know if the trailer was just looking amazing, but 80s Avengers, you got me into that. I love T'Chaka's Black Panther outfit. Anyway, I saw him saying, I'm like, all right, I mean, you got me. So, really interesting. This is the first time. I'm glad they're still trying different things out with the whole. Let's just drop it day by day, see how that plays out. Just hopefully it's at least enjoyable. Hopefully, like the story. It's enough with the concept. The concept wasn't that strong, but the story's good.
Sure.
It's fine with me.
100%. LBM said, I'm more excited for Marvel Zombies personally. Are you excited for the like spin-off What If I don't even know if it's a full-on spin-off now. They've said it's like, some people have said it's like a spin-off, some people said it's like a separate thing. Are you excited for this show at all?
I need to hear more stuff about it. I mean, is this like a different thing or like part of the What If? I know
it's like a spin-off. Yeah, it's just it's its own separate kind of show.
Okay, because I remember seeing like cons art of like basically Marvel Zombie 2 with like Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel, and I love those two like new characters in the MCU. So you had me hooked there. Because under the last one, tone issues for the last Marvel Zombies, the original episode. It was like trying to be funny, but then trying to be serious at the same time. It just wasn't feeling that well. So hopefully with this new spinoff, it it hits. I would love for the hit. Just have to wait and see.
100%. 100%. All right, kind of moving into our next kind of topic here, our other big news story from the week. Also MCU. That's all that's really out right now. I will say we're not mentioning it here because it's not officially confirmed yet, but potential Fantastic Four casting happened last night, and I want to wait until we get more because there's a bunch of different sources saying it's official, and then others are saying no, it's not. It's still in talks. So I'll probably talk about that next week. Do you have any thoughts on it, as a general, if this is true?
I don't like. I'm not big into like fan casting myself either. I want to see how they are in the role. If you can blow me away in the role, cast whoever you. If you think they're good, cast whoever. There's so many times where people get too like, they're not gonna be as good in the role. Then they get the role, blow it away, or this person be perfect for the role, get the role, and they're not good in the role. So, I mean, I think I've seen some people who also say they wish they had more obscure actors take the roles. That was kind of like the great thing about early to mid MC. We got these actors who no one either knew or you didn't think they fit this role. They came in, blew out the wall, and people were like, all right, you're this character now. I've only seen you as this character. So let's just see if they. I mean, MCU. I don't say they miss what people they get for the roles. They might like waste their potential.
Yeah,
but they usually don't miss when it comes to casting people.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pedro is one of my favorite like ongoing actors right now. Like Last of Us, one of my new favorite shows. I love him as Mando. Like he's in Game of Thrones. He's great in like Wonder. Like I don't like the second Wonder Woman movie, but he's my favorite part of that movie. Like he's so good. So just the idea of Pedro being like one of the new big faces of the MCU is amazing to me. I don't know how I feel about Mr. Fantastic. I'm not a massive Fantastic Four guy. And I almost feel like I almost don't get a say because I haven't read that much of their comics. I've seen the movies that have come out. I remember watching them in like, I think I saw a little bit of the like animated show that came out in early 2000s or something.
I think you know what you're talking about. I think I was rewatching that recently because I was just kind of bored one day. Fantastic Four gets it. I'm not the biggest fan either. Basically, probably it's about the same as you. Like, I read maybe a couple comics. I've seen the movies. I've seen like a few of the shows. So just like you, I don't think I have a good generation of like who's good for these roles. But he's great. Like you said, like where he's at, from what I've seen, he brings the A game. He can do comedy. He can do serious tones. He can bring out those emotions that he needs to bring out. But as Reed, I don't know. Like, I don't know much about Reed Richards. Like I said, I can't say much about it, but not my first choice, not my second choice. But if they think he's good, hey, you got my money.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, again, I'm very happy if it is him. And it seems like it's very likely. Like, it seems like it's like a thing, but we can't say it officially yet. Again, I'll be very happy for him. I do need to see. I think it is a thing where I just need to see him in action. I do think Reed is a character, from what I've seen, that is a character that I think can look like very different ways. I think he can. A lot of people can shape that character into what we've known. Like, we've kind of seen the same kind of similar Reed Richards in the past. Maybe now it's time for a different one. So I think that ultimately I'm not like too concerned. Daniel in the chat, how's it going, Daniel? But let's kind of go into this massive shifts for the MCU. I feel like I talk about this each week. Each week there's something that's got pushed or there's something that got moved. But we have some new dates for next year for the MCU. So we had kind of a packed schedule previously with we were supposed to have Deadpool 3, Captain America 4, and Thunderbolts all next year. But we do have some new shifts in the schedule here. So the first one being Deadpool 3 being July 26, 2024. And that is it for next year. We have one MCU movie in 2024, which has not happened since 2014 or something along those lines. What are your thoughts on just having one MCU movie next year and that being it?
Honestly, I think we need a break. Like I said, they're doing too much, spreading stuff too thin. I am worried about having 4 2025. I think that's still too much. I feel like, but I think after the writer strike, maybe it's from the writer strike, not entirely sure. They're just reworking everything. So if it's written well, let's go. But I'm a little worried people are getting burnt out even more and more now with more of these like mid to just like okay movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wish they might put Blade. I know I'm looking forward to Blade too, but I think they need to push that to 2026 just so we get some that breathing room because all these movies find for the space, people get burnt out getting too soon. People are saying 3 movies a year was already getting a little too much. So we have 4 too much. But if they give them that time to rework those scripts and make it the best movie possible, go for it. We need it. Like people starting to fall off MCU.
Yeah.
It's still there, still making its money, but it's not in its heyday anymore. They gotta bounce back.
Yeah, no, I mean I definitely think, and like I think I have always said I think 2 movies and 2 shows is like the perfect balance. I think that's the perfect number. And I think people aren't remembering that I like Deadpool 3 is next year, but there's also 3 shows coming out as well. So it's not like we have a year without the MCU. Like we still have Echo, we have the like X-Men series that's coming on, and then we have Agatha towards the end of the year. So there's still stuff in the MCU coming out. And I think 4 a year is that perfect number. X-Men's kind of like not MCU, but probably will be at some point. So I don't know what they're doing there, but it's still like 4 kind of Marvel projects. And we also have to think there's 3 Sony Marvel movies coming out next year as well. So it's not even, though they still got Marvel stuff coming out. So it's gonna be very interesting to see kind of what the response is next year, because I think this year especially has been all about people kind of realizing that Marvel isn't what it used to be. There's this like it's been a slow thing of these last several years, but this year especially, I think after Ant-Man, was a breaking point for many people, and I think that's when I was seeing people being like, I'm done with the MCU. I'll just watch what I want to watch. So it's going to be interesting to see what people are saying come next year, the end of next year, how are people feeling about the MCU.
I think Loki brought some people back though. I've seen like Loki season 2 was really good. That definitely brought some people back. Marvels, I enjoy the Marvels. Like I was basically what I thought it was gonna be, a enjoyable movie, but it's not bringing people in. People are getting either like you said, Ant-Man was a point. A lot of people said Guardians was like the last thing they really care about. And Guardian was amazing. It was great, but a lot of people say really that's a send-off. I'm done. I'm moving on.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Marvel, a lot of like Marvel fans is, and this is something I saw like back in like the Arrowverse fandom as well, where like every time there was a good project, they're like, Marvel's back, baby. We're back. And then when it's bad again, it's like, boo, I'm out of here. And then they put out a trailer and they're like, well, maybe I'll be, we do this every single year. This year's no different. Like, obviously we're kind of at a low point, but like this year was very much like a whiplash year for the MCU, where again, like Guardians, Loki, really, really good. Ant-Man, Secret Invasion, not so good. Then you have those kind of in-between projects. It's been a weird year overall. Captain America 4 being in February, kind of a weird spot for Captain America, I think. I'm not sure how it's going to do overall. Like, I know that's not a big like blockbuster month.
No, February is usually like a dead month for. Maybe they bring into the Black History Month. I know Black Panther did really well even for a dead month. So hopefully we get that just a crowd of MCU people like Captain America. I think when Disney Plus first came out, that was also one of the shows people really still enjoyed. So hopefully we're bringing like some people in for that. We just have to wait and see. Fantastic Four, that's summer. So hopefully if the trailers wow people, bring it in. Thunderbolts, I have to see a trailer for that because I mean, I said the same thing for Guardians. When Guardians first announced, I didn't care about it. It's game as well. I didn't care about it. But the trailers came out, people were giving good reviews, people came in. Blade has a lot of passion behind it. I'm blanking on his name. I feel terrible. The guy playing Blade. He's really passionate. Multiple times, I think I've saw people said that he told him, no, it's not working, script's not working, we're wrapping up, doing it again. So it seems like he's really passionate, and that gives me hope that that's going to turn out to be something really good.
Yeah, Blade's been a what it feels like that's been a really cursed project, like from the start. Like I'll honestly be shocked if that makes their like 25 date. I know that's towards the end of the year, but I would not be shocked if it gets pushed back to like 26. And apparently Avengers is still set for a 25 as well. I guarantee that's going to get pushed. Like,
that's definitely getting pushed back.
Yeah. I would say Blade probably gets pushed, and then we focus on Captain America 4, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts. I think would be a good mashup for 25. So it's going to be an interesting kind of ride over this next year or so to kind of see where everything's kind of going. But with that being said, we have our main topic today. We do have Spider-Man 2, which came out earlier, about a month ago by this point. I do want to say, if anyone has not played Spider-Man 2 and does not want to be spoiled for Spider-Man 2, this is your time to get out of here. Thank you everyone who tuned in who has not seen Spider-Man 2. This is kind of your point to get out. I don't have any real notes for Spider-Man 2. Before we jump into the real talk about the game, what was your kind of experience with the first two games?
So, funny enough, first game came out my first year of college. The second game's coming out my last year of college. So it's kind of like a bridge point between my college year. I remember first one came out. I pre-ordered it on my mom's Amazon, but it was a digital version. So I had to text her that like morning, like, hey, you got email. Can you send me the stuff for the game? So got up early, got the game. Almost skipped class, not gonna lie. I really was excited for this game.
Yeah.
Play it nonstop. My girlfriend had to literally stop me from playing to go eat because I was just playing it nonstop. I was totally in the game. Beat it, platinum it, played first game multiple times. I don't want to. I feel like it's cheating because it's Spider-Man. But if you had to say this is probably some of my favorite games ever. If I had to say non-Spider-Man, probably Ghost of Tsushima. But love these Spider-Man games. Miles Morales, same deal. Pre-ordered it, got when the GameStop got the game the day of release, played it nonstop. Love Miles Morales. Spider-Man 2, same deal. I had it pre-download ready and everything. Soon the game dropped, I started playing the game. Love it. The whole opening scene, biggest smile on my face. Waited 5 years for that game. Works every cent. I love these games so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just can't wait for the maybe third final game. If it is third final game, I'm okay with that. Let the creators go out on the way they go out, but I'm so excited for the future.
I absolutely adore these games. I played. I'm not a huge gamer. I've never until my senior year of high school, I didn't own a system. I had a Wii back when I was little. But so when I graduated high school, I had got $1,000 from all the gifts and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a PS4. Probably should have waited because the PS5 was out, but I bought the PS4. The first game I played was Spider-Man PS4. And that experience was very interesting to me because I didn't know how to use a PS4 yet. So I was really struggling, how to work this thing, how to control Spider-Man. But there's something really, really special about these games. And with all three of these games, I've never felt more like a superhero than I am, especially in this final one, this newest one, than I do when playing a Spider-Man in these games. It truly is just this really special experience, I think.
Definitely, like I said, I know we got everyone out for spoilers. I don't know about spoilers.
Yeah.
The Howard mission and the Find the Grandpa mission in the second Spider-Man game, I did not know I was going to feel so many emotions for side characters, not even side characters, background characters. Howard I know people complain about the pigeon missions in the last two games. Even me to a certain degree, I'm like, Howard, how you keep losing your pigeons, man? This is the fifth time. You gotta get back hell. That scene had me tear up so much. And the grandpa mission hurt me. I don't know how you were able to make these side missions like this and have them hurt me on characters who I'm only gonna probably see for 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Amazing. Can't think enough. I think the Aunt May, anything with Aunt May in these series gets me every single time.
Yeah.
When she passed away in the first game, I think my girlfriend's literally like taking a nap next to me. She woke up like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. And then second game with Miles going to Peter's, I guess, headspace in the negative zone, and it hit me seeing Peter is still in the headspace of "I let Emmy die, is my fault," and that just hit me once again. I'm like, this took me right back to where I was in 2018. Just sad for this man who did everything right but lost someone who's really important to him, and that's really hard. But I'm just love this game. Of course, I have my problems, but I want to talk about the positive stuff first. We'll get to the negative stuff. Just story's great, gameplay is great. Great seeing Miles and Peter back and forth. Just love seeing Miles have more confidence in this game as well. Because even with his quips, I remember in Miles Morales game, he'd be uncertain. He'd like, "Oh, Peter told me a quip for this," or just like saying, just not being confident. His clips, not saying they're better. The Spider-Man clips are never that good, but but just that his confidence is coming out more. Like he's more confident with his abilities and everything. That's great. There's their back and forth. Peter being the older brother that Miles needs right now. Miles' rage when it comes to Mr. Negative and all that kind of stuff. Just so much great stuff in this game. Love the Black Suit Saga. It's maybe not my favorite. I think Spectacular still beats it, but it's still so good hearing through my headset when I use the rage mode. Just the alien noises coming out. It gave me hype up. When I forgot the Blacks the first time, biggest grin on my face when for the Peter Miles boss fight. Everyone called that when we first Miles gonna have to fight Peter to get that black suit off. Amazing boss fight, so good. Seeing Peter rip the suit off, I was sad like that suit go, but that scene was so good. I just couldn't. Game is just so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that I was, while I'm playing it again, I had such a great time. I think the second one, this game, is the most fun I've had out of these three. I think a big part of that is it felt like everyone was playing it at the same time. At day one, everyone was playing Spider-Man. Everyone was talking about it. I'm a big fan of when everyone is experiencing this thing. Stranger Things is a thing where everyone's watching at the same time. Game of Thrones, everyone's kind of watching it. That kind of things. I'm a big fan of it. So I think, I had so much fun with that. And I think the thing I do think put it above the other two for me is just I can play both Peter and Miles Morales. The first game, I love the first game so much because I get to play as Peter Parker. Peter Parker is such a special character, especially this version of him. I fell in love with this version. And by game two, in the second one with Miles, I love playing as Miles, but then there is the part at the back of my head that's man, I kind of wish I could play as Peter. And this one, I get both. I get both of these characters. They have done such an amazing job writing both of these characters. I don't even know if I have a favorite. I can't pick between these characters because they're both so well written at any given time. While I'm playing as Miles, I'm never I wish I was playing as Peter. While I'm playing as Peter, I'm never I wish I was playing as Miles. Both are so good. And I think it's why I like this one more is because I get the experience of both of them.
That's really what makes this game so special. I mean, it's not the first time we have to play multiple Spider-Man, but be able to switch back and forth like that, just be able to see each other playing as Peter or Miles, and one pops up to help with crime. Just great stuff all around. The back and forth between them, it's just so good. Them both having their own character arcs for this whole entire game as well. Just like I said, just amazing stuff. Plus. And then Yuri's just acting in this game as Spider-Man is just so good. Just him when the black suit when you're fighting Miles once again, it's just him being this is I'm finding everything everyone wants me to be because he's just trying, as Aunt May told him, he's trying to put himself too thin and it's like a drug enhancer for him. It's hard to let go. I know one of my roommates were saying how she felt like Peter shouldn't be at his look. I think at one point I was telling him, I'm sorry everything happened to you. I know you're going through a lot right now. And she's like, he's not going through a lot right now. He got the job with Harry. He should be good right now. I'm like, maybe at first, but they lost their business. He's still not over Aunt May's death. He can barely keep the mortgage going. Sure. And stuff he's scared of losing Harry again. He got his Harry back. He's scared of losing him. Yeah. And he can't even pack Aunt May's stuff. I realized on I think my second playthrough, because I played the game twice. Sorry, not sorry. Wait, it took 5 years. I'm playing the game. I didn't hit me to. It might be a little stupid too. It's fine, but I hit me that he hasn't moved into Aunt May's room yet. He's still in his smaller room,
Yeah.
so that he still hasn't. He doesn't let go of Aunt May yet. He's like still trying to be like stay like maybe not the same as 616 months, but trying to stay as a kid a little bit longer just to be like just stay. But like in the game, he's finally able to like move Aunt May stuff out. He's taking the break that he needs. And yes, it's a break. He's not hanging up the web shooters forever. He just needs some time himself.
Yeah.
That thing been going on. He's just been through so much. Almost lost to Harry once again. Let him take a break. Spider-Man's taking a break multiple times in different iterations and stuff. Let the man take a little break. Miles got it, even though costume, get that later, but I don't know. Like, just this game just brings me so much joy. I still play it just to swing around. Like if I had a bad day, I would just go home, sit down for like 20 minutes, just switch back and forth, and just like have a fun time, just cooling myself down from a hard day at work. But just I love these characters. I can't really see more of them. Anything. I'm really hoping for DLC. I know it's my fault for running the game. Like I think I beat the game in like 3 days. No, that's my fault for taking like a day off work and everything. But I want more. I really can't really see more of these characters, this universe. The Haley Haley level got me so hard because I have a deaf sister, so it was just like so nice to see like more reputation. Like when I realized, it's muted. It's all about vibrations and stuff.
Yeah,
I adore that whole mission.
Yeah, I mean, let's kind of talk about that for a little bit because again, like that side of the fandom is not something that I like to talk about. The like anti-woke culture is not something that I like at all. But I do definitely think it's something to bring up because I do think it's been such a massive part of the like conversation after playing the game. Like I played the game. Like I had like finished playing the like first day. I didn't finish it the first day, but like I had got done playing like for that day, and I went on TikTok and I saw a couple and people were loving it. And then you start seeing the other conversations about. Obviously, there are certain parts of the game that are going to trigger certain fans, and this is my opinion, of course. But and I think you had said something kind of similar over on Twitter, where you're like, not all Spider-Man fans deserve Spider-Man, and it's so very apparent that what Spider-Man I think ultimately stands for are morals that a lot of the Spider-Man fans now don't share, and I think that's such a discouraging thing, to be honest.
Especially when I know people say it's like hundreds, thousands of times, but Spider-Man is masked for a reason. Is so anyone can envision themselves as Spider-Man, and sure, it doesn't always have to be not Peter Parker, like Miles 299, but that costume was made so anyone could be Spider-Man. And people trying to be like, hey, this part of this community is not welcome here. It's just so unfair to that kind of community. I'm not part of the LGBT community. I'm an ally myself, but the mission where you're Miles and you're helping this little couple trying to get exile someone else for a homecoming, super cute. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, they're a gay couple. Amazing, great. Let's get some more rotation. Just small stuff. Don't bring attention to it. It's like, hey, try to out my boyfriend for homecoming. You got me in. Like this. So many people, so many different people, colors, race, or like orientation, who should be able to be like, that's Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, and it sucks trying to keep him out. Like
100%. Yeah.
It's this great character. And shouldn't be like just only assigned for one character. I mean, I'm a African American myself. Love Peter Parker. Love Miles. Like it doesn't matter. Any story they're in is good. I'm in it.
Yeah, I mean, these last couple of years have been so insane to me. This side of the internet. I don't want to like talk about this for too much because there's so much good to talk about. But like, there's still people after 2 great Spider-Verse movies, after 3 great games of Miles, people are like, he's like, Miles isn't Spider-Man. And it's like, how? I don't understand it. Spider-Man calls him Spider-Man. The city calls him Spider-Man. He calls himself Spider-Man. Why is it so hard for you to accept that Miles Morales is Spider-Man? It's insane to me. I really don't get it.
I don't like if it's different. Like when my friends say he just doesn't care Miles, fair enough. We don't like the character, but he would never say he's not Spider-Man. He just say he's not for me. He prefers 299. I'm fine with that. Like if he's not for you, he's not for you. But that's just too much. But like you said, way more positive to talk about this game. Let's just talk more about it. Like the Venom stuff. amazing, so good. This
Yeah.
Sandman mission for the beginning, amazing,
so
so
good.
good. Just the boss fights are just elevated to a different level. Peter, a little hurtful in this game, not gonna lie to you. Him talking to the lizard like that, when he hit him with the this is why your family left you. I had to step back. I'm like, oh, Peter, what are we doing here? Like, I thought we were trying to help him out, but why are we attacking this man? But just stuff like that, just so good. The MJ mission, honestly, the one with Peter Fonda in the black suit, one of my favorite MJ missions, one of my favorite missions in the entire game in general. It's just so nice to be like on a different side, like. There's like one point where she says, "Don't look." And usually, I really want to look really badly, and you see Peter jump at you, and I'm like, "Never mind, I'm good." I only see that. I don't like. It's just so many good things.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are making fun of the whole like MJ with her gun just blasting symbiotes and everyone, and honestly, that's a funny meme. I can't lie about that because I was sitting there, I'm like, why is she able to like just one shot these soldiers? And then it's fine. Like I'm it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Nitpicking for that, but I get it. She should not be able to take down these hunters like that, but
it's very funny. I'm because okay, so I always play my game on the easiest settings because I'm simple. Like again, I'm still kind of new at games. I'm not good at them, and my whole thing has always been like I'd rather enjoy a game on easy than not be able to play it on like hard or medium. Like that's always been my thing. And it on the easiest setting, I don't know if you played it on there at all. You like as Spider-Man, you can't die. Like you can't like your health will never go past 30. And I didn't know that till the end, but like when I'm going in the MJ missions, I kind of just figured that was forever. Like I just thought that was because that was uneasy, and then I find out, oh no, she's literally like John Wick, and she can kill off all the hunters, and it's like okay, this is kind of funny. And you know, like the like reason that they've said that she could do this is because they want her to be a capable character, same as Miles and Peter, and I think that's completely fine. A lot of people. And again, I was kind of annoyed with them in the first game. I think merely because I loved playing as Peter so much, playing as Spider-Man so much fun. So switching over to a non-human who just kind of sneaks around, it was a little frustrating. But I thought they were a massive improvement in the second game. I had a lot of fun playing as her.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's even I think I remember watching someone playing. They said even her being able to jog, like run, is way more improvement. That's why the second mission is also so good. You get a web shooter, you can like shoot people, like web and everything. I think they lessen them and they made you do more stuff with them, so it made it way more interesting as well. So I really like them. I think each one was different as well. Because first one you get the taser, second one you get the web shooter, third one you get a gun. So it was nice. The nice change of pace, really good. Yeah, even when my replay, as someone who's more fine with MJ missions, I just speedrun them. Like I know like where to go and everything. Cause like I play the game so many times, I know like all right, do this, and get out.
Sure.
But I ain't know on the easiest difficulty you can't die because I usually don't play in the hardest difficulty for most games, but I play the Spider-Man games so much that I kind of got like the combat down to where I'm comfortable with myself. So I just hop in the highest difficulty right away.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I do want to play them, I think, on a harder level now because like I was going through it so like this is probably the easy game I've ever played. Like I've never like got through a game faster because it was literally impossible to die. So I would like a little bit of a challenge going forward. Like Lizard took me like 10 minutes to beat, and I heard people like were really raging Lizard as he was like a really hard villain. I was like, oh, he seems not that bad.
Nah, Venom for me. Venom for the Miles part, for like the very last like section of his thing. I don't know. I think because he was like throwing like projectiles at you. I don't know what was going on, but I could not dodge those things to save my life. So I died like 3 times. But even I think that second playthrough for me helped with some dialogue I was missing, because for like Kraven versus Venom, which amazing. That whole I was the biggest grin. Like I said, there's so many times I keep saying it, but there's so many times in this game where I have the biggest grin on my face. But that whole Venom part, amazing. I was so excited when that camera turned and it controlled. I'm like, yes, let's go. But I was actually paying more attention to the dialogue when Venom and Kraven are fighting. And there's a line that hit me a little bit where Kraven's like, you have no idea how to feel to be someone whose body is betraying them. Some lines like that I just kind of missed because I was too busy just having fun with the game at that point. Or Venom being like, oh, I remember you. You're the one who took me from him. and stuff like that. So like the hatred Venom has, and a little back and forth more, and like the little parallels between Venom and Harry and Craven is that they're both men who are like dying because their body are failing them and everything, and how they both try and fight for different reasons. Craven wants Craven less of fighting it and more like I want to go on my own terms, while Harry is fighting it. Or I think at the very end with Peter and Venom fighting Anti-Venom, where you could tell Harry's hurt, that he felt like Peter turned his back on him through this whole entire time in the game, and just said that. Why I'm glad that my second playthrough, not just because they say, hey, ultimate difficulty, I'm like, say that, let's go, say less. But definitely I feel like some of the more subtle things you kind of miss. But if you want to start in the more negatives of the game, we can go ahead unless you got some more positives you want to talk about.
Let's kind of jump into like some of these comments real quick, and then we can kind of move on to things we don't like. Kai said, I understand that they had to move the story along, but I do feel that the symbiote arc for Spider-Man was a bit short. Do you agree with this, that like maybe it could have been a bit longer?
I definitely agree it could be a little bit longer, but I think what makes the symbiote arc longer in some incidents is that no one else really knows Peter is say Spider-Man time, or at least like the black suit what it is. I think what spins up a little bit more this time is that both MJ and Miles and Harry, for instance, knew what was going on. They're like, oh, okay, you're changing. It's the suit, and you get the thing off as fast as possible. But also, I guess the way I played it is I did every side mission in between the main mission, so I got to be in the black suit a little bit longer. So, but definitely, I feel like, I think at one point they said like it's been a couple of days. I'm like, it's been a couple of days. I feel like it's only been like a day at most. Like maybe 2 at most. So I definitely would like to be a little longer, but we'll love to have that symbiote, because that symbiote story, I mean, sure, it's like the most like one people know for Spider-Man, but when he's done right, it's done so good, and I really wish it was a little bit longer, but still, all the beats it hit, loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also would depend how long people are playing the game for. Like, it took me about like a week to like finish the like story mode. And I still haven't finished like all the side stuff. Like, I'm kind of like really taking my time on like some of the side stuff still, make it last a little bit longer. But no, I feel like the first game, it took me like 6 months to play through, because for like I didn't play like all the time, and 2, like I didn't know how to like play. I didn't know how to really use a PS4, so it took me a lot longer to get through it. But no, I think it was such a big difference from like 6 months to like a week, and be like, oh, this game feels really short. And that's something that I've heard people say, that maybe it should have been just like the game as a whole should have been longer. I think it was a pretty good length. Like, it's still like 18 hours longer than like a Spider-Man movie. Like, it's still like we're getting so much more content out of we're getting so much more Spider-Man content than we're used to, outside of like maybe the comics and stuff like that. But it's gonna be, I'm very interested to kind of see what people end up kind of saying about Spider-Man 2, as far as like people that are, I feel like most people who started it when it came out are now kind of done with the game, and people are, now really getting to stream it a little bit more. So it's going to be very interesting to see what that journey is like for people. Kai also said, as much as I love Spider-Man 2, I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the first game more. I still love Spider-Man 2. Still an incredible game. Yeah, I mean, this is a situation where there's not a bad one of these games. Like, they're all amazing. I think it's all just kind of down to preference.
I would have to go back and play, because I am planning to do all 3 of them like at one point. But I can see why people say the first one's better. There's definitely longer. I feel like there's more stuff. I think the story, even though it was bigger, I feel like it's also a little bit more tighter, if that makes sense. Because I know people said for Harry's like stuff like that, it made like no sense to how he jumped to where he was in story wise, and stuff like that. Fair enough. Like I get it. I can't be mad about that. First game is so good. I can't even be mad about that opinion.
Yeah, no, I think, and again, this isn't something, because like this is the reason why I love the second one, because you get to go back and forth with Peter and Miles. But I do think since you do switch, I do think it's a little less personal to each character. Like, when you're just playing as Peter, you are Peter Parker. When you're Miles, you are Miles. But I do think when you switch back and forth, there is this like illusion thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing a game because I'm switching back and forth. That might be a thing. And because you have to balance 2, you have to spend more time or less time on either Peter or Miles than you would have in the previous two. That's again, like, that's a nitpick. Like, that's not even really an issue I have, just kind of a thing that I can realize, okay, maybe from a like critic standpoint, maybe that's something that they wouldn't like. I'm not a critic. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I just like enjoying the things that I'm watching and playing and stuff like that. What was your opinion on just Harry as a whole? Because I'm seeing some people in the chat talk about Harry's kind of arc and what we did with him at the end. Like, what was your opinion about? Because, you know, this was really his first, you know, he was like mentioned and stuff and he had cameos in the previous one, but this was his first like full game.
Not gonna lie, for most of other Harry's appearance in other media, I don't really like Harry that much. At least like for Spectacular, can't stand Harry. Raimi, he's fine, a little much, but this, I liked Harry. I like where he was going with the whole like he wants to make a better world and everything, and that him really wanting Peter along and everything like that. And it's nice once again. Like, I think this is not the first time we had a smarter Harry. I know, even though people don't like it, the Marvel Spider-Man cartoon show had a smarter Harry that, you know, I have that usual Norman hates Harry but wants Peter. So it's nice that they're actually not maybe equals. I'm pretty sure in this game Peter's still smarter than Harry. But just that they have a good friendship going, that Harry, when he gets his power, she's like, "You're Spider-Man, we're best, like, let's go." Because it's, I guess, like, from like I said earlier, Harry feels like he's like a little betrayed from Peter for a little degree. So it's like another chance of being like, "Oh, we can like close that gap again, we'll be like back where we were again." And then even when he gets sick, I know like one scene that confused me when I first played was the scene where after Peter basically told Harry take more pills. You see Peter talking to Norman and him being like all distressed and everything. And he'd be like, you're telling Peter, you're the son, son to me, and Harry getting mad. I remember being like, why is Harry so mad about that? Like, I feel like in this universe that your dad cares about you more than anything else. But I guess he felt like he's being betrayed in a certain degree, like he's being left behind to get have Peter replace him and everything. And the Venom stuff doesn't confuse me, like doesn't irk me too much, because I feel like I know usually Venom is him going out to attack Peter personally, like I'm going after people you love. Like I said, Spectacular is still my favorite version of that character. Him like I'm going after Gwen, going after MJ. But I feel like for this version of Harry, it's like Venom, it's not even once. They've said multiple times in this in that last chunk of the game that Harry wants to heal the world, and the Venom is twisting it to a degree where like training with the symbiotes is the way to heal the world. And he still wants Peter there, he wants MJ there, but he doesn't want Miles there. It's kind of because him and Miles have a little like, I'm Peter's wingman and you're kind of in the way. Overall, I like Harry. I feel like the ways as Venom he gets to where he is makes sense to me. I get it. I do wish we got more of him as Venom. Like more, maybe like he goes after Miles' family, because like we've seen that he doesn't, I won't say hate Miles, but he definitely has a rival with Miles at this point. So him going after, like, we see a little bit with him going after his girlfriend, but I thought we should have more like him going after his mom, going after Genki, stuff like that. And Miles like is more personal and go into more of that theme with Miles is like not letting revenge go over. I mean, we already got that release. I guess maybe that'd been a little too much per se, but we have loved to have Venom like at least attack them at least a little more personally, because I think he went after MJ at least a little bit, so go after the Miles a little bit more.
Yeah.
But overall, Harry was fine. Harry was good.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good point. Like there's that like point inside the game where like Harry reaches out to Miles and he's like, "Hey, is there anything?" Like he can't really do anything because he's without the suit and he's not doing so. And he reaches out like, "Hey, is there anything I can do? Is there anything a way I can help?" And I thought that was actually like a thing that stood out to me. I was like, yeah, we really haven't got much of Harry and Miles. Like that's not something I've really ever seen before, and it's something that I think could be cool if like we could like explore that more. And again, I would agree. Like there is kind of like this battle of like best friends almost. Like Miles almost has this thing almost against Harry, because I'm not, maybe not against Harry, but like he almost feels like, oh, Harry's coming in and he's stealing my mentor, my teacher. Even if it's, it's not really touched on much, but I kind of felt like that was kind of a thing that maybe he was going through. So yeah, I mean, I would have loved maybe like a level where we got to see them interact a little bit more or something.
I know as you're doing like just random missions, Harry will pop up with your Miles, but there's still not like much like I remember watching a video about it. I forgot who it was, but it was like you can that mission where Miles and Harry are going back and forth. I feel like that you need a little bit more of Harry as Agent Venom for a little bit, because when he gets the suit, Agent Venom, the next mission with him as Agent Venom, he's giving the suit to Peter. So I feel like maybe have a little mission with him and Miles. I mean, like push that where they're going forward, the whole like there's a rivalry there. But they don't do that. I mean, there is a quick storyline where Venom's like, "You don't even know me. Why are you trying to reach out to me?" And that could have been pushed a little more. We had like more, at least a little more moments of Harry and Miles going back and forth, at least a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's 100%. And you know, like I could go on all day of things that would be cool to see, and you know, like there's like in any movie and in any show, I'm like, yeah, that would have been a cool thing. Was it needed? Maybe, maybe not. I still think it definitely works. I will say, as good as Miles is in this game, there are points in the game, and you could like speak up if you like disagree with this, but there are points where I'm like, this is still ultimately Peter's game. This is still the story about Peter Parker. Miles is still a side character. Sometimes it feels like, oh, this is the Peter Parker show, and then sometimes we switch to Miles. And their storylines are very different. Like Peter is clearly going through it this game with everything with Harry, everything with Venom, everything with Kraven. And then you switch to Miles, like trying to write like a paper, and it's like, oh yeah, maybe I wish there was a little bit more for Miles to do, maybe some extra missions or something that we could see him go on. But we'll see.
No, definitely. Like, no, I definitely agree. If there's just like an A and B plot, like a story,
yeah,
Peter's definitely A. I won't say Miles is B, but definitely A
100%.
minus. It's definitely under that because he, like you said, he has the development, he has the whole Mark Lee thing. They should have more missions with like maybe Miles looking for Lee. Maybe he's going to like some of his old gang members or something like that. Just something else to show like Miles is Miles is doing something. Like he technically, if you do the side missions, is like it feels like Peter's doing all the big like city stuff, and Miles is handling the street level stuff. If you play like that, it doesn't feel that disconnect as much. But definitely could have more missions with him, like chase after Martin Lee, trying to look for him because. Every time you see me, he's talking about his paper or Martin Lee. So have him looking, going out there looking for him. Have a mission with him and Harry going back and forth. Just a few more missions will like make that go away. Like I said, like how I played it, every time a Miles mission popped up, I went straight to that Miles mission. So that disconnect wasn't there as much for me. But some people like to go straight main mission, do side missions later. If you do like that, it's definitely more Peter and Miles show. So. Yeah, I mean, could use a few more Miles stories.
Yeah, that's how I play it as well, because I like the idea of just kind of being able, like, you have the main story that's going on, and then I still get to be Spider-Man after it's all over, like, getting the aftermath and doing all these side missions and stuff. And again, I haven't finished it all yet. I'll probably play it throughout the rest of this year, just kind of slowly getting through it when I'm, having a bad day and I can just like swing through the city as our favorite heroes. Yeah, no, I again, this game has been such a pleasure. Do you have any? I know there's a lot of things we haven't touched on yet, but is there any other things that you're kind of like really thinking about?
In general, I mean, we ain't touched on Miles' new suit yet.
Are you a fan of it, or are you kind of like with the rest of the crowd that's like,
when it first popped up, my reaction was, I ain't put you in that. So I was really confused when he popped up. I'm like, what are you wearing? But I don't hate the costume. I see what they're doing. I've seen so much art of people doing small changes that fix the entire design. So it's base level, it's a fine suit. You make some tweaks, it could be a great suit. I remember when Miles' suit in the Cross Fibers came out, I didn't like it at all. I'm like, what is this? And then it grew on me. Now it's one of my favorite Miles suits. I still prefer the OG one, but as an ultimate suit, that one, the 10th anniversary, love those suits. I just think a few tweaks to make that to a really, really unique Miles costume. I know the whole Adidas thing came out for a bit, and that made it way worse for me. Cause I'm like, I was already like, all right, it's fine, it's okay.
Yeah.
And then that came out, I'm like, all right, no, I don't like it anymore. But it came out that no, it was made first, and they made the shoe based on it. So went back a little bit, but get him out of that. It was fine. It was like an extra suit. Like, hey, we have a sponsorship suit. But I do agree with people come from and say like it'd be fine is a side thing, keep it aside, but it's effectively put me in the suit for the last part of the game.
Yeah.
that it just makes me not want to wear the suit. And I get
Yeah.
that, like that, that's fair. Like I would take the suit off too, but I think my first place I took the suit off. I kept him in that suit. I kept Peter in the anti-suit the entire time because I was like,
Sure.
I didn't think I could switch. But no, don't either tweak it or get him back in the original suit because it's don't make that his suit. I'm sorry. It was already unique with the red down his arms. You like that was your version of this of Sonic mount. That was fine. He didn't need that whole giant redesign. You gonna tweak it like how other artists are doing? I'm in. But as right now, change it. Get him out of that thing.
Sorry.
No, I was done. I was about to switch a whole different thing. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I do think it's a fact that it is the final suit of the game. It is now his like main Spider-Man suit. That's the issue. There's some suits in this game that like, I'll be honest, I'm someone that likes a very like classic looking Spider-Man suit. I'm never going to wear as cool as some of these costumes are. I'm never going to wear that Miles suit where he has the hat, like the old man suit where he has the hat on. And, there's a lot of fun like suits. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. suit's really cool. I'm never going to want to wear those suits though because it's like, well, would Spider-Man actually be wearing some of these suits while he's fighting crime and stuff? No, I'm gonna want to see a suit that would most likely be in like the comics and in the movies and stuff like that. So like I'm never gonna be wearing the like Wolverine suit or like the Black Panther suit, as cool as those are. And I don't know, like the end suits, both of them felt like I'm a big fan of just like the red and blue or like the red and black. Like those are all of my favorites. So the final suits being a white and black, and then like a turquoise and red or something. Like I wasn't a huge fan of it.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do not think red and blue is Miles' colors. I think because some of the variants of his costumes is just Peter's colors, and I mean, same thing for Peter. Some of his variants are just Miles' colors, but I'm just looking at them, most of them like red and blue is not your color, man. Just go back to black and red. That's you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, if it was just like I say, if it was just a side thing, it would have been fine. Like people would be like, ew, but they moved on. Because there are a few costumes game where people's like, ew, I'm just not gonna wear this costume.
Yeah.
But
100%.
As the lock suit, no, you really shouldn't have done that. But it's fine. It's whatever. I'm one of the like 5 people who actually like it's a fine suit. The variants make it better. Like I think the white one and the black one of it looks way better than the red. But they have to fix that. I don't know, man.
I mean, as we kind of like head to the end of this like conversation, I don't think we talked too much about Kraven yet. Like, I know we definitely mentioned
I not mentioned Kraven.
I think we mentioned it a little bit, but we haven't talked about it in a massive way. What was your kind of opinion on Kraven in this game? Obviously, we have the movie coming out next year, which a lot of people have been talking about how they're both coming out with with such a close time. What are your kind of feelings on him inside the game?
So oddly enough, I think I realized that Kraven's actually one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, just for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's about him, and I really like this version of Kraven. I think having the whole Kraven Last Hunt thing, but spin differently about like he's dying. Like I say, he has that parallel with Harry, and that he's dying, and he's like, I don't want to die on a deathbed. I want to die, out in there fighting. And I'm like, all right, I like that. It's cool. That it feels a Kraven mindset thing. Like I want to die like a warrior. So him going out trying to find someone to take him down feels right. Don't know how I feel about him killing most of Spider-Man villains. I think Scorpion would have been fine as like okay, Scorpion, sure. But then you were like, oh, he killed Vulture, he killed Shocker. I think they just revealed that he killed Rhino, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know how I feel about that, but they said they have a lot more villains left to go. I mean, we got Chameleon coming, we have Carnage coming soon too. So, I mean, besides that, love Kraven. I think his ending's good for him too. I think when I was playing this villain, I even say like I would have killed him. I would have just let him sit there. Like, no, you're gonna die the way you don't want to die. But that's just me being petty because Kraven. But no, I really enjoy Kraven. I think only nitpick I have is I don't really see Kraven having the army. That is my personal take on Kraven. I feel like he's more of a man who likes to hunt alone, and him having a whole army, it just felt like something they had to do because it's a game. I feel like if he had like a small, maybe like a 5-man unit, that'd been a different thing. But besides that, that's nitpick. That's me nitpicking. But besides that, love Kraven. Good ending for him. Good motivations. Everything. Every scene he's in, he steals the show. When he tells Peter harder when he's choking him, caught me off guard. I'm like, what? But Kraven was amazing. I'm a little sad he died. Would love to see more of him, but he stole the show. Him and Venom, any scene they're in, they stole the show for me.
Yeah, I love Kraven. I think Kraven's up in my favorite of the like Spider-Man villains. I've been wanting him in the movies for years now. I think he's very, very fascinating. I don't know how I feel about the movie that's coming up. And I'm very glad that he is such a prominent force in a major Spider-Man thing. I do kind of feel like his ending felt, I don't want to say rushed, but it did kind of feel like, oh, he's dead now. Okay, now let's focus on Venom. That was a nitpick for me, but I really enjoyed it. I 100% agree. I do think there were some villains that we saw him kill off screen, which I thought was kind of a weird choice. Again, nothing that really bothered me, but there's some, I don't know if I wanted to see it, but I don't know how I would have personally handled that. There is something a little like disappointing that some of these villains can't come back in future games. Obviously, there's such a large catalog of Spider-Man villains that they've said they still want to pull from, that obviously we know they're going to be pulling from. So it's definitely very interesting, but I'm so glad that he got a feature in somewhere big. Like we had heard that he was supposed to be the villain of like the latest like MCU Spider-Man movie, but that was a pitch at one point in time. That never happened.
That would be amazing.
I think Tom and Kraven, like I think Tom Spider-Man and Kraven could be really, really cool. Like I think Tom would fit that villain very well. But we'll see. Maybe they still have plans in the future. Who knows? Maybe he's now popular from this game, and now fans will be like, "Oh, look, it's the Spider-Man villain from that game in the movie." So we'll definitely see. Do you have any other kind of final thoughts on the game that we haven't mentioned yet?
Off the top of my head, not really. I mean, it's gonna be hard to go back for the last two games because I've got so used to the Web Wings. Love the Web Wings.
Oh, I've been so much fun.
I'm just a fan of the Web Wings. Just it didn't need to be like a functional reason. Just having the Web Wings in anything, I love it. Like so, it was nice to see it being a prominent thing. I also just wish we had more missions where we got Peter and Miles switching back and forth. I think on the top of my head, we got the opening scene, we have the Martin Lee breakout scene, and then we have the I'm missing one more, but I know there's another. The E3 showcase one. And I was really just hoping we had more missions of this them switching back and forth like that. I just really wanted more of that. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to have Miles have his own story, Peter has his own story, and they meet up about like halfway through the game. I want to say maybe a little past halfway, because like you said, for like the first half of that game, maybe the first half, but maybe like a good bit of that beginning, the symbiote part, Miles is just MIA.
Yeah, 100%.
And then when he finally comes in, he feels like definitely a major player. Like Peter would not have gotten through this whole story without Miles backing up. And that's not to say they nerfed Peter. I know I've seen a lot of people saying they've nerfed Peter in this game. I don't feel like they nerfed Peter. It's just a lot of stuff was going on with him going. I kind of know seeing what people might say, like him getting stabbed by Kraven. And I guess for me, I didn't read it as he got nerfed. I guess it's reading as he was first surprised that Kraven caught his punch so nonchalantly. And then while he caught it, he also stabbed him. So I guess it was for me, he was just taking it back about too many stuff at once. But I didn't really feel like Peter was nerfed in this game. It's just a lot of crazy stuff was going on in this game.
And like I also think it's apparent how powerful Miles is as well. Like it's not that Peter is weak, but Miles is such an overpowered Spider-Man. And like with the experience, because I think it's the thing I love most about this game, and not that we haven't had like older Spider-Man previously, like we have, but I do love that like in the first game we get to jump into a Spider-Man that's like 9 years into being Spider-Man. Like that is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, he's 8 years, I think he's 10 by Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
And it's so nice. Like, I mean, I'm a little sad because when first of the trailer, I was gonna be a teacher's game. Because they're like, oh, he's a teacher. I'm like, yes, I love Teacher Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then they dropped it. I'm like, oh man, I didn't get the experience at all. Because I know for like also the prequel comic, they're like, oh, he's doing his teaching stuff. But they still doing something new with him. He's doing his own business. And I'm blanking on Harry's mom's name, and I hate that.
Oh, Rio, right?
No, that's Miles. Harry's.
Oh, Harry's mom. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Sorry, but he is doing his like some different stuff. He's not just going back to the Bugle again. He's moving forward. Right? So I just like that each game we get these characters moving forward, different directions. Miles is getting ready to go to college and everything.
Sure.
Cindy Moon. You ever talk about like the Cindy Moon thing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with that per se. I definitely get rid of the pheromone thing because even Cindy Moon fans don't like that. So let's see what they're gonna go with that.
Sure.
Norman will become the Green Goblin next game because it said the gene serum's getting ready. Hopefully they don't do Superior Spider-Man. I don't think they're going to do Superior Spider-Man because it has costume in this game. So something told me they might not really to go for the Superior Spider-Man route, but maybe Mayday Parker. People are really hoping for her to pop in. I'm just sorry for the future. There's so many stuff we just lost over to get to talk about, but just there's so much to talk about this game. Like,
oh, it's such a large game. I mean, this is like at least 20 hours of content to talk about in like 45 minutes of like a runtime. So yeah, I mean, there was always going to be stuff that we couldn't talk about, but I hope we at least talked about all the major stuff that we wanted to get a chance to talk about. I love the game. I'm excited for. It seems like this world is also growing, which I love because I love these games. Like we have the like Wolverine game coming out either next year or the year prior. I assume a sequel to this game is happening as well. What are your opinions on, before we like move away? Like there's been a lot of talk within fans of like growing out this universe. Like there's been people pitching all these different, like a Daredevil game or a Deadpool, like all this kind of stuff. What are your opinions on them wanting to like fans wanting them to grow out this universe?
I mean, I will love it because honestly, even though the universe is full, it also feels empty at the same time. Oh, Emily, it was the May Emily Foundation. Thank you. But because like Daredevil Resistance, we know that the Avengers have not shown up yet, and that blows my mind because New York literally had an alien invasion, and they were just like, "Nah, the two Spider-Man guys, we'll just be over here, whatever we're doing." But I don't know how I feel about Insomnia taking the whole entire reins. I don't want to overwork them. They need their time to cook. Like they said recently, I think someone asked them like, "Will we be seeing Spider-Man in the next Wolverine game?" They're like, "We're not worried about that right now. Let the Wolverine guys work on what they're working on. Let them do what they gotta do."
Yeah.
And honestly, I love that idea.
Yeah.
We get too much. We get too like, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this.
Yeah.
Let's make a good game first, good story first, and then let's throw a little stuff like the Doctor Strange stuff. Amazing. If we do have a Daredevil DLC in this, I would definitely love to see that because there's just a little more stuff we could do this before we're completely done with this game that I'm excited looking forward to. If we expand the universe, great. If we don't, oh well. I'd rather get a good game, a solid foundation, and then we can move on.
100%. Yeah, no, I am like, there's always, again, like I don't like bashing on the MCU. I love the MCU, but like there's definitely that thing right now where there's so much things happening, and if you do too much of like a shared universe, like this is already the third game in the series, you kind of have to play the first Spider-Man game and almost the second game to be able to play this game. Not like completely, because you know they do a bit of a recap, but like if you do too much crossover, if you have to play Wolverine to play this game, people would just stop playing the games because they haven't played the last 12 games. Like that's not an issue I think they want to run into. So yeah, I mean, I would love like a Daredevil game or something. There's tons of games. There's tons of like Marvel and DC characters I'd love to get turned into games because I love playing as my favorite heroes, but we will definitely have to wait and see. And I'm very excited for the, at least the next 2 games that come out in this kind of world. So
Wolverine, hopefully it's good. I mean,
Wolverine, I'm so excited. I'm curious to see what that entails. I'm gonna miss the like swinging of the Spider-Man games, but I think Wolverine is going to have a lot of fun stuff as well.
I just need at least one motorcycle mission, and I'm good.
Yeah. And then even with that, I'm like, my mind goes like, Wolverine, could we get like an X-Men game, which would be insane? But like, I don't want to get too far ahead, and I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I even really enough. I even think about that because, like, yeah, it will show that in the universe X-Men do is this. I think they said that if this game was like the Civil War, next Spider-Man games would be like the Infinity War and Endgame. So I'm trying to see what they mean about that.
Yeah. Kai said, I'm really excited for the Captain America Black Panther game.
I forgot about that too.
I forgot about that too. There's like 5 Black Panther games happening or something crazy. Like there's so many happening, which I'm excited for because I love that character, but I I'm just waiting for one to come out and then I'll play it.
They just haven't shown any good the gameplay, because I don't really base my assignment off CGI trailers as much anymore, because it can look beautiful then the game come out and the gameplay is garbage. But yeah, Captain America, Black Panther, there's that another Black Panther game coming out. I think there's an Iron Man game coming out and the Wolverine game. So we are getting to a nice little rhythm of having more different superhero games, such as Spider-Man, Batman, maybe one Superman every 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, to give me a Daredevil game. I've been reading his comics recently. I've rewatched the show a little bit. Give me a Daredevil game. That works so well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
Just keep giving these other characters some more games, and as long as they're good games, good stories, you got me hooked.
100%. But with that being said, we are kind of heading towards the end of our stream here. I did want to play a little game though before we let you go here. Obviously, one of the reasons why we kind of followed each other and stuff on social media is you're a very big Ben 10 guy, and I could not live with myself if I didn't at least have a small Ben 10 talk with you before I let you go here. So I thought it'd be fun if we played a little game of Would You Rather. I have 6 slides here. Each slide has 2 aliens each, and we would have to choose out of these 2 randomly picked aliens, who is our favorite out of these 2. Some of these mashups are really funny. Some I think are going to be a bit harder than others. But we have 6 here. Should be fun. Speed round on some of these. We can talk about it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't want to keep you too long here.
Oh no, you're good, man. I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the day, so you're good.
Alrighty. All right. So the first one we have here, pull this up here, and we have randomly picked each one. We have Heat Blast and Blitzwolfer. And when I saw it land on Blitzwolfer, I felt instantly bad because that's tough competition. Really tough competition. Out of these 2, who is your favorite alien?
It can't be Heat Blast, man. That's OG. It hurts Blitzwolfer because he doesn't get a lot, at least OG series. He doesn't get a lot of stuff to show. He gets more Omniverse, but I remember most episodes to almost all of OG to aliens. Omniverse, I'm a little iffy. So
yeah.
Gotta go Heat Blast. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Heat Blast is so good. I've said, man, I feel like I don't love the classic aliens as much as a lot of classic fans do. But Heat Blast is just so iconic. Heat Blast is just that guy. He is arguably one of the greatest forms in the whole show, in my opinion. So, yeah,
he's definitely one that faces the franchises. That's
100%. I will say though that I think Blitzwolfer is very cool. I really wish we could get more of him.
Oh no, he's definitely cool. One of the best of the Halloween aliens, but
100%. Yeah.
It's you're comparing the poster boy to one of the side characters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, Blitzwolfer, you gotta go. Sorry, Heat Blast. Yeah, no, I kind of knew where this one was going when I saw who it landed on. Next here we have the Worst versus Atomics. This one, I figured when I saw the Worst he would lose instantly, and then I saw who he's paired with, and I was like, we'll see. We'll have to see.
That's fair.
Out of these 2, which one are you? Which one would you go with?
I mean, I more laugh at Atomics how he talks than his powers. I remember he goes hum, and that I don't know why that gets me. So I'm going to go with Atomics. I mean, the Worst. His whole thing is when he had Ben's this is the worst alien. What will we do with this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine. People, I know some people don't like Atomics. Prison Chin over there, I get it, but it's just the way Atomics talks. It gets me every time.
Yeah.
Cousin.
God, sorry.
It's the way they cousin pull his shield and protect everybody. I'm why is he talking like this? So
cousin. Atomics is a weird one because I didn't know the franchise hated him as much as it did until channels were talking about how much they disliked him. I was like, oh, okay, I can see why you don't like him. I remember enjoying him as a kid and thinking he had a very cool powers, but looking back at the franchise and what that character meant for so many and the weight it took to get this character on screen, I get it. I 100% do. I would probably go with him as well. The worst is I honestly think it was a very fun concept for an alien that he just like he is the worst, but also I feel like he's not even almost the worst option at times because he can't really hurt him. It seems like he's kind of
it's definitely Walker Trout who's definitely the worst alien.
Oh, 100%.
At least the worst can like tank abilities.
Yeah,
like Walker Trout, he can't do anything.
100%. Alrighty, next up here, we have Bullfrag and Accelerate. This one's another one that was kind of done dirty a little bit. Which one's your favorite?
I just want to say, I low-key want to say Bullfrag because I just feel bad for the guy, but I like Speedsters, so it's cheating. I go Accelerate. He's a classic one. Bullfrag, I'm not gonna lie, I think he has a cooler introduction. No, he definitely has a cool introduction to Accelerate. So he just pops in and like just showing off and everything. Still in the show, having Ataya like just swooning over this alien. Great. Yeah. I just wish he kept that purple and black color scheme because one thing like about Omniverse, they do keep doing that green color scheme a little too much. I think he looks better than that for that purple attire. But I'm sorry, Accelerate, he's the GOAT, but Bullfrag is a cool introduction episode that I always want to give it to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm there. I mean, I think the like Frogs of War arc is one of my favorite arcs in like the whole franchise. I love that, like that final two, that like two-parter is one of my favorites of the whole show. But it's Accelerate, like easily. Like again, I said I'm not a huge fan of like a lot of the popular classics. Accelerate is one that I love. You can't really beat him. I almost wish I wish he used them more throughout the franchise because it feels like he's an alien that gets underutilized way too much. Like outside of classic, it feels like he barely uses him, and he should be using him all the dang time. He's so overpowered. Accelerate though, I think has to win this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, he's really underutilized, and I mean, don't want to start the whole fast track thing. I'm not gonna get on that, but Accelerate is just he's so cool. Like I don't know, like that's definitely a 10 out of 10 design. They just don't use him a lot until Omniverse, but no. Like I said, I almost want to give the Bullfrag because the introduction was so good, but Accelerate teaches too good.
100%. Up next, we have two classic aliens, kind of. We have Buzzshock and Ripjaws. I'm gonna be very curious where you land on this one because I feel like I might have a hot take here.
I feel bad for Ripjaws. I'm going with Buzzshock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Ripjaws, but the thing about Ripjaws is they had to make episodes around Ripjaws. For being to use them, like anytime he's that episode, you're like, okay, this is me. So we have to show a Ripjaw for a bit. Because any other time he pops up is like he just can't be used. He's dying constantly. And I like electricity, but so I'm going with Buzzshock. Love Ripjaws though. Ripjaws is a classic alien, but Buzzshock is just more interesting. His OG designs more interesting and everything, and just he's more useful as well. It's just Ripjaw. I can tell when like this is a Ripjaw episode because I always skip those episodes because those are like my least favorite episodes, like the Ripjaw episode. Yeah. So maybe besides Underwater Hotel, I think it was either a hotel or amusement park. I like that episode. Besides any other Ripjaw episode, I skip it. It's not one of my favorite ones. Yeah. So it sucks because that's his only time to shine. Those episodes. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree. I love Buzzshock. Buzzshock was always one of my favorites, and I wish we could have seen more of him. I always thought he was so cool. I never cared for like Ripjaws at all. He was never one of my favorites. I had no real intention. I think Ripjaws works better when he has more than 10 aliens. I think he works a lot better in the later shows where he has like 50 other people, but if there is water, he can go that alien. I think that's fine. Again, like he's one of like people. I feel like a lot of fans love Ripjaws, and he's one of the classic ones for me where I'm like, he's fine. I'm not a huge fan of him. I think a lot of the later ones outdo him. So yeah, he's fine for me.
He definitely has a really good design. I can't agree.
He looks cool. Yeah,
he looks really cool. I think he has Jet Ray and Amphibian, who are also water aliens, and Water Hazard, honestly.
Yes,
but I think Ripjaw still have a better design. But I think what helps the other aliens is that they can use them outside the water.
100%. Yeah.
And it's just out of all the original 10, besides maybe a Ghost Freak, Ripjaw had the biggest, just like, I can't use this guy.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Up next we have Mustache and Forearms. I really like the way that this looks because it looks like Forearms is terrified of Mustache.
Yeah, it does.
He's like, whoa, man! Whoa, I didn't mean to cause trouble.
I can't beat this guy. He seems strong.
Where are you kind of thinking for this?
I gotta go Forearms, man. Like another poster child. Mustache. Once again, funny concept of I like because the Omnitrix is not a weapon; it's just a device that he's walking on people's shoes. So it makes sense that Ben has a few others. It's just like this guy's useless. But, I mean, not really. He has like the mustache fist, which a little much for me. But hey, man, aliens are weird, so go on. But I like that he's a few aliens. He's like, this is not for Brian. I can't use this one. But Forearms is the poster. I think like him in the graveyard. I think one of the most iconic scenes for me, Forearms, is him in the graveyard picking up that stone sword and just telling like a statue to come here as he's about to swing the sword. And that scene gets me. Like, I think I posted that scene like a good few times. I'm like, this is just a cool scene. I'm sorry. Forearms is just him. I'm sorry. Or like him doing like the dual guitars at one point, which is a cool scene. Yeah, sorry. Mustache, I'm sorry. You get out of here.
Okay. So I'm not a massive Forearms guy. I'm not a huge fan. I think he definitely has his moments. I think depending like Ultimate Alien Forearms is probably my favorite Forearms. I love the like gladiator look for Forearms. It's my favorite time with him. I've always kind of been under the impression where he's cool when he shows up, but I do think there are so many cool aliens that one which just happens to have Forearms was never, at least as a kid, was never really that interesting to me. And I think given another choice, Forearms would probably lose. I don't know if Mustache has enough of an edge though to outdo everything they've done with Forearms. Like, I like Mustache. I think he was incredibly fun. As a child, I thought this guy was one of the coolest aliens to ever touch the earth. Looking back on it, I do think he is very goofy. Again, I like, again, it's very fun, but like, how does that work exactly? Why is his mustache like a weapon? That I do think it stretches the like what works in the Omnitrix and what doesn't a little bit too far. I will probably say Forearms, but I'm not happy about it. No, I like Forearms. I don't hate him. I think there's cooler guys out there.
No, that's definitely fair. Kind of like Forearms and a Humongous Sword is either you love him or you don't like them at all. I have a few people who are like, Humongous Sword is just a giant dinosaur. I don't care for that. I'm like, fair enough, but I don't know. Him growing, I just like it. It's I mean, to be fair, in Omniverse, Ben would get a little annoying. He kept going, Humongous Sword, and he didn't get it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Just there's so many different unique aliens, I guess, because also like Ben has like fire, ice, electricity ability. Then you like, I'm gonna go with the guy who punches hard. I'm like, all right. All right. So many more interesting stuff you can do, but punch him away.
Yeah, and I'm so biased because like that's my thing with him. And then he Among the Stars is one of my favorites. Like I love him as like a child. He's probably, I'll be honest, he's probably still my favorite, even though it's relatively the same thing. Is like they both punch hard. But I think the difference, at least like for me, is one has Forearms and the other one's a dinosaur. Like as a child, what's cooler than a dinosaur? Like that's the top of the food chain, child entertainment. So. Yeah, but Forearms, like I really do get the hype. Like he's had some really cool stuff over the years.
I know in the binging games, I used to love playing as Humongous Sword. I played like recently. He is so slow that I don't want to touch him.
Yeah, he's really slow.
I'm like, no, I can't play this. He's too slow.
All right, and our final slide here, wrapping this all up. We have Upchuck and Wildvine, which I think might be the hardest one out of all of these. Like this feels like I don't know which one I would go with right off the bat.
I would have to go with Upchuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love Wildvine, but Upchuck just has more iconic moments to me.
Yeah.
And that could just be like, oh, the hype moments. You just buy it for that. I mean, but I guess with Swampfire, and I'm sorry, but Wildvine kind of gets subline when Swampfire comes up Because
Yeah.
Stormfire does everything Wildvine do, but better. While Upchuck, even though they think they try to replace him at one point with Beetle,
right? Yeah.
but Beetle would never touch Upchuck. Upchuck,
No.
I'm sorry, but I'm going Upchuck, and I'm Wildvine's still cool. When he hops, I'm like, oh, look, it's Wildvine, but
yeah.
As one of the like extra aliens, he was never really like that stand outish.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like I said, when Sunfire come up, he just blew him out the water. Because I remember when they first revealed the alien for aliens on the website. I remember going out, I'm like, oh, so Swarmfire, he's Heat Blast and Wildvine fused together. Chromostone, he's just the new Diamond Head. Humongousaur, he's the new Four Arms.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but I don't know. I guess just Upchuck never got taught while Wildvine kind of got like sidelined pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Upchuck is one of the only like aliens in classic that like came along later that like became really popular. Like it feels like that OG10 plus like Cannonbolt will always be kind of like the go-to thing for Ben. And then Upchuck, I felt like he kept coming back more and more and more. And yeah, no, I love this character. I think he's incredibly fun. He's very gross. Growing up is realizing how gross of an alien this guy is and what Upchuck means. I didn't know what it meant as a kid, but now looking at it, it's like, yeah, that guy is gross. But also, it's one of the only aliens that get like two different species, and we get to see Ben having like that option. That's such a cool idea that I love. Wildvine should have been in more, like especially in classic. Like I feel like they could have used him so much more, and there's so much cool things that they could have done with him. So yeah, Upchuck I think is the way to go here. Kai said, Wrath was always my favorite. You want to tell me something always made me laugh. Wrath is up there for me. Wrath is very high up my list.
Wrath is like one of a fan favorite. I guess like he's power wise one of the more boring aliens, but his personality just makes him, and I love Wrath so much. I think what Gwen and Kevin said really makes them. They're just like, you know, Wrath is the only I can just sit back and eat some popcorn. I just want to watch this man go. And Gwen was like, Kevin, I know you're right. I'm like, yeah, Wrath is just so entertaining. He's like, all right, I'm gonna sit back, get some popcorn, just watch Ben go off, and just I think even asked me if he became Wrath at one point. And that was just really entertaining to watch too. He's got so much personality, so much charm. You're like, yeah, you're not that interesting power wise, but you just got so much personality.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason why he's such a popular character. Like to this day, I'm still seeing like Wrath clips on like TikTok and stuff, and all that fun stuff. Like, there's a reason why he's a fan favorite, and he like climbed the ranks as like one of the most iconic for sure.
I know someone on Twitter trying to say, "Man, Wrath is so underappreciated." I'm like, Wrath, the fan favorite. This like people love Wrath.
People love Wrath. Yeah, I've seen everyone praises Wrath. Like he's up there with like Humongousaur, Four Arms, Heat Blast is just one of the more iconic aliens. But yeah, with that being said, we are heading towards the end of our stream here. I want to give a big thank you to Dez for coming on here and chatting with us today. Dez, where can people find you?
I only place to probably find me is Twitter or X now at Alex27D. That's the only thing I really be doing recently. But I'm always there. I always want to like just send me DM. My DM's always open. Just want to chat about something. Very upfront. Like I'm always trying to be positive about everything. Like don't really try to get negative. But like if something's bad, I'll say something's bad. I'll love the responding part. But I try to put that possibility first because the reason why I got into bits in Twitter was because Spider-Man Twitter was just so toxic. And it just hurt me to hop on. And I like Far From Home, and a lot of people who are more Spider-Man fans like hates that movie. So everybody like MCU is garbage. Raimi's garbage. Andrew Garfield, Webb is garbage. I'm like, don't want to be here. It's just so much negativity here. So we looked around like, what else am I really into? And then I remember I love Ben 10. So I started making posts about that, comparing like all the designs, saying stuff I like, love, character development, and I got a big following on. Well, I don't say big. I'm not crazy about that, but I found a following on Twitter where people like want to tag me, DM me, like, "Hey man, I really remind me that I love Ben 10, and I'm like that makes the day for me. Be like people like, hey man, you are the reason why I remember Ben 10 is this, why I'm rewatching the series once again, and really need something new for Ben 10 because I'm really running out to talk about. I wasted all my good material in like the first year and a half of me being on Ben 10 Twitter, and I'm still finding stuff to talk about, but it's getting hard to talk about stuff. I need some more Ben 10 content so I can talk about that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you were, like you and like Ink Tank were, again, during COVID, because I think he really started his, like, coming back to his stuff during that, like, 2020 era as well. And, like, you two were two people that got me back into the franchise in a way. Like, obviously, I still love the franchise, but outside of the reboot, there wasn't a lot coming out since it ended 9 years ago. The main stuff ended 9 years ago, which is insane to talk about. Like, I cannot believe it.
There's so much to talk about on Twitter. Like, it's just in general about Ben 10. It's just a rich series. It has its flaws. It has its high moments, but love Ben 10. It's also really hilarious that he plays Islamic Spider-Man. So got that connection there too. I love your Lowenthal.
Spider-Man 2 is probably the closest for getting to new Ben 10 content in a while, because we had the two Spider-Man, or we had the two Bens in the game. That might be the closest.
The closest I'm going to get to the crossover, because I think they did have all the Ben's crossover in the reboot, which I literally tweeted at one point. I'm like, bro, I think I'm tearing up because it's nice hearing Yuri be Ben 10 again. And I remember someone replying like, is it that good? I'm like, it's not that great. It's like it's a fine crossover thing, but just hearing Yuri play Ben 10 again after so long, it just did something to me. But I still got my Spider-Man. It's like I got something until they announce something Ben 10 related. They say they're trying to shoot stuff, so hopefully something else come out, because I would love more Ben 10.
It's these last several years, especially like 2021 onward, every month or so there's a new live action thing happening, or we're working up something, and it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. We fall for this every time.
People tag me so much. I think it's a few people has DM'd me being like, you have any information about Ben 10? I'm like, bro, I am just a fan. I have no information what's going on right now. And I did do a bad thing on April Fool's. I tweeted out that, hey guys, I knew Ben 10 series coming out. And I felt so bad. After April Fool's happened, I deleted the tweet immediately. I'm like, nah. And people like, bro, is this happening? I'm like, nah. And then people like, I trusted you. I'm sorry, man. I had it for the one time. And I even say, I'm like, it's mostly because I know this makes me sound like kind of a jerk, but people got something asking me, is there more Ben 10 stuff coming out? I do not know. I'm in the same boat as you guys. When you find out, I find out. I didn't even know Harry was the kid Ben until I hopped on Twitter. And someone like, oh my God, we got 2 Ben. I'm like, what? I didn't know that. So I don't know what's going on. I would love for them to come out, but when they're ready. And when it comes out, I will be the first one on Twitter hyping up like I did with the reboot movies, the reboot specials. I just want more Ben 10 if any way possible, because like I said, the reboot kind of got good for me towards like after that first season. I started like enjoying it more. Kevin honestly was one of the best part of the reboot, not gonna lie, but also he kept popping up in places. I'm like, why are you here? Because every time they turn around, I'm like, Kevin, why aren't you home? Where are your parents? I think there's even a line where Ben, I think they're arguing, and Kevin's like, how about you go cry to your grandpa? And Ben's like, he's not having to go cry too. I was like, what does this mean? Is because he's not homeless, because we see that he made the his own Omnitrix or Antitrix in the garage, so he's not homeless. So why are you popping up everywhere we're going? Anyway, like besides that, I had fun with the reboot. I might do a rewatch eventually. Maybe I do a whole giant Ben 10 rewatch and just tweet about everything I'm seeing once again. But I would like to do more Ben 10 stuff. I have talked to Kiro maybe like once or twice randomly. Really, really, really cool guy, really nice guy.
Kuro seems so nice. Like, he popped up in a stream that I was doing a couple months back, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's you! And I felt I geeked out a little bit too much. I think I should have, like, if I could do it again, I would have been like, okay, relax, all right, you know. But he seems so nice, and if anything else comes out, man, if anything gets confirmed, I would love to have you back on here. I would love to talk about.
Of course, man, anytime.
I was kind of like patiently waiting because like obviously like you were in my head of someone I'd like to work with. I was like, well, maybe something will come out with Ben 10, that I can have you on. Nothing has happened. Maybe next year. I like 2024 feels like maybe it could be the year that something happens, but we'll see.
We'll see. We haven't had any Ben 10 stuff for like, I think I want to say like 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been like 2-3 years. It's been a minute.
I mean, if they're working on something that's cool, but I'm just
Yeah.
waiting. But yeah, if any Ben 10 stuff come on, any more Spider-Man stuff, I'll be here. I'll just send me a DM. I'll be like, all right, let's go. Like I said, ever since you asked me, I've been counting down. I'm like, yes, I'm so excited, man. I've been wanting to talk
Thank
about
you so
Spider-Man
much,
so
man.
much.
This has been such a blast. Again, I want to thank you so much for hopping on here. A little bit of an update for next week's episode. Obviously, next Thursday's Thanksgiving. We're not doing a stream on Thanksgiving. The lawyer said no, I couldn't do that. So I will let you guys know when our next episode is. Probably will be like on Monday or a Wednesday or something. But again, thank you, Des, so much for hopping on here. Without further ado, I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye bye.
See you.